Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, CAC in the Spotlight. Okay, before I even get into the content of this video, I want to say thank you to those 25 subscribers who have joined to follow me as I record my life living overseas over here in beautiful Taiwan. Okay, so 25 subscribers, thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome aboard. Share my content and help me grow. I still got my goal to get 50 subs by the end of October. I have hope that we can get there, okay? Now, with that being said, if this is your first time here watching me in this video, stop everything, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment, okay? So, y'all 25 subs on this page, interact with your boy. I want to know your opinions. How do you feel about what I am talking about in my videos? I would love some interaction from you, okay? With that out of the way, I gotta tell you this. This video that I'm going to record right now is kind of touching on a very sensitive, difficult topic for me to share with you all, with anybody, because not many people have this experience I'm going to talk about right now, and that is when you are a biracial, multicultural black man in the USA. You have a very difficult road to travel through. Okay? In my household, I grew up with my biracial mother, who was white and black, and my father, who was also biracial with white and black and Native American. So I come from a very diverse, multicultural upbringing. That's why you see I'm high yellow as fuck in this bitch. Okay? So I'm still black. I know exactly who I am. I know who I am, and that's a black man who was born and raised in Flint, Michigan, the north side of Flint, Michigan. Yeah, I grew up with a white grandmother in my home, but that does not erase the fact that I am black. I am a black man. My first imprint in life in the USA was that of a black man, okay? Society has never granted me any passes to live privileged and well off as a white person, okay? Let that be known. I grew up as a black man on the north side in the hood of Flint, Michigan, okay? I'm saying all that to say that my journey through life has not been easy at all. I come from poverty. I come from a broken family, okay? Where a mother who totally abandoned her children when we were just getting to our teenage years. I have older brothers and sisters, okay? They were older than me and my brother when our mother jumped ship and totally abandoned us. Me and my brother, I have a twin brother. Me and my twin brother, we were just turning 11 years old when our mom totally walked out on the family and chose a life of prostitution and smoking crack cocaine, okay? So I did not have a mother figure to guide me through my preteen and my teenage years. Even worse than that is I didn't have a father either. My father was out of my life when I was a very early age. I'm talking like 6 or 7 years old. My father was gone. My father was actually put out the home because he was cheating on my mother. Okay, so I didn't have a masculine role model growing up as a young boy. Okay, so that was the huge blow right there. And as I just said, at 11 years old, my mom was gone. My mom dipped out on all of us and chose crack and prostitution. She prostituted her body so she can afford the drugs. And she was also an alcoholic. And eventually she died. She died when I was 20 years old, just maybe 1 week after my son was born. Okay? So my mother passed away shortly before I turned 21 and just before my son was born. So not having those figures in my life, a mother, a responsible mother, a strong mother, a responsible father, a strong father who could guide me through life, that in me created a sense of resilience and determination that I'm not going to let nobody deter me from anything that I am putting my heart and my mind into accomplishing. I learned from an early age That if I want it, I gotta go out and get it. Ain't nobody gonna come and do it for me. Ain't no Jesus figure ever coming back to save me from anything. I don't believe in any form of Christianity, although I was raised in the church. Okay? But that's a side note. But as I'm saying right here again, I realized at a very early age that if I wanted something, I had to go out and get it. I am the only person that I can count on and trust in. Because I'm not going to let myself down. As long as I honor myself, love myself, respect myself, and keep my eyes focused forward on what I'm trying to do, ain't nobody going to fail me. Because I won't give them the opportunity to fail me. Now, what I'm going to say right now, bringing it full circle back to the fact that I grew up in a mixed home with the right grandmother who was there for me when my black mother and my black fathers were not there. My grandmother has revealed to us on many occasions that she is playing from the mental paradigm of her being, superior, meaning she's a white supremacist in sheep's clothing. Yeah, I hope that's coming out right. She is a wolf, white supremacist in sheep's clothing. She, on one hand, she says that she loves and she cares for you and she wants to do things for you. But when it comes to encouraging and supporting you when you are putting your pieces together, she can't be trusted. She never could be trusted. So what the hell am I talking about right now? Why am I bringing this shit up? Why? Well, those who listen to my content, you would know that I've been in Taiwan for the past 9, almost 10 years, pursuing my career as a language teacher here in Taiwan. And this past weekend, we had a conversation on the phone. And she brought up some information or brought up some shit about how that I should have stayed in the USA and been closer to my son instead of being overseas. Okay? And I kind of, in a way, it didn't catch me off guard because I know how she cut. I know how she is. But it came to me at the wrong time, and I was not trying to hear that. Okay? Why was I not trying to hear it in that moment? Because when I called her that day, I had called her to tell her that because she was having financial problems, don't worry about a bill that I created to help her. Okay? I had made an agreement with her that I would pay some of her phone utility bills and electric bills for the home because she didn't have the money. And I told her, I'm not pressed for the money, you pay it back, as you can. Don't cause yourself any problems because you owe me this debt. Slow pay it back to me. Pay it to me as you can. And I called her and she told me that she needed medications. So I said, listen. Oh, okay. And we made an agreement where she would pay me X amount of dollars per month. I told her like this. I said, listen, don't you send me no money in October and no money in September or November. You just wait and you get yourself right and you start, you start back with me in December near my birthday. Okay? And I said, you just wait, get yourself right, and pick back up with me in December. That's why I call my grandmother. Because she is the person who took care of us when our fathers were not there, when our mother was not there. I have to show that kind of respect and gratitude towards her because she didn't have to do those things. So I appreciate her for what she did and how she's, stepped up, if you want to call it that, when we didn't have parental figures. So, yeah, I called her to say that. Don't worry about it. Pay as you can. And this bitch totally changed the conversations into shaming me for being over here for the last 9 years, almost 10 years, and I've been far away from my son. Now, that's fucked up to say to me. I'm going to tell you why it's fucked up. The way she tells this story, she makes it seem as if I was going away for 9 years and totally turned my back on my son and had no bond established with my son. which is so far from the truth. I established that father-son bond way before I went overseas. My son was almost 9 years old when I left. Before I left the first time, that's a long time ago. Almost 9 years old. Okay, and when I went overseas, I kept that first time. I kept constant communication with my son. I kept constant communication with his mother. I kept constant communication with his schooling, just to see how he was doing in school. I paid my child support in full, consistently, on time, every month. When I had extra money, I was sure to send him extra money, birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, just I'm thinking of you, I miss you type gifts. Yeah, yeah, I was abroad, but still I kept that bond. And like I said, I never forgot my son. I returned to the USA in 2015. I left the first time in 2012. I returned to 2015. And when I returned in 2015, my son came and lived with me. My son lived with me. My son got to live with me and witness me in action as a teacher. My son was one of my students in the classroom. So my son, he witnessed me living my career, doing my career in front of him, with him in the classroom as one of my students. My son witnessed me grow into a professional teacher. When I was back in the USA in 2015, I went to grad school and I got my master's degree. Okay, I got my master's degree. During that time, my son was living with me and he saw how I got on my purpose and I got focused and I cut off all the distractions and I stayed in them books. And because I stayed in them books, I put myself in positions where I can have a lot of success. What I'm meaning is, because I got rid of all the distractions and the girls, friends, and all that mess, and I was bright, I was like one of the top students in the classroom, I was awarded scholarships. And I was awarded a very prestigious position as a graduate teaching assistant at Wayne State University. Everybody does not get that special position. You have to be like the top of the class. When I say the top of the class, I'm telling you that there may be only one other student who is scoring better than me. Only one other student. And so, like I said, my son witnessed me go through the educational process, and he witnessed what it requires to be responsible, or what it requires to have success and achieve your goals and dreams in this world. I gave him that template. Okay? I gave him that template. But if you bring everything to where I am now in Taiwan, still in my career, building a business over here in Taiwan. Yep. My white supremacist grandmother shits on all that. Shits on all of it. And the only card this chick can play from her white supremacist deck of toxic playing cards is that you have got to attack a black man and tear him down in front of his children, in front of everybody. So yeah. Wow, I mean, this is like so pressing on my heart, because I didn't waste my life. I didn't or I'm not in my son's life physically because I was incarcerated, or I went to war, or I'm irresponsible and I didn't look back to keep that connection with my son. That's not it at all. At all. And she can't even understand that as a black man, we don't have many options in this life, especially when you don't have parents. Like, I don't have a mom. I don't have a father. I grew up without them. I grew into a man. I evolved into a man without them. They would never be there for me to have, or they would never be there to support me in any capacity. In any capacity. I'm all that I have in this world. If it don't come from me, it ain't coming at all. If I don't go out and get it for me, I can't even share with my son or my daughter. I have 2 kids. But instead of this toxic grandmother recognizing that, respecting that, upholding that, celebrating that, She chooses to tear me down. And it's kind of fucked up. Yeah. So listen, I don't went through all my negative emotions I'm going to develop about this very toxic person, this toxic situation, and I put everything into its proper framework. Okay, and that is what it is, the truth, the facts of the situation. I'm a black man who was born into a broken family, in poverty, in a crime-ridden, hostile, violent neighborhood, surrounded by drugs and homicides, and police shootings, all kinds of shit. I had to walk through a lot of things to be where I'm at in life, and I appreciate where I'm at in life. Okay. And some of those things that were like the catapult, if you will, the catalyst for me to move overseas, were the deaths of so many black men that happened like in the 2012s. And I know everybody's going to remember this name, Trayvon Martin, the teenage black boy that was murdered by the damn security guard, neighborhood watchman, George Zimmerman. Okay, Trayvon Martin, murdered by a security guard, neighborhood watchman, murdered. And his family did not receive justice in the court system because George Zimmerman got off the charges with a whole slew of evidence pointing towards him as being hostile and overly aggressive, or what he did was, I guess in my opinion, at least my estimations, that you cannot justify that. He got off the charges. Philando Castile was murdered while he was in his car with his girlfriend and his child in the back seat. It was a routine traffic stop or whatever it was. It was a traffic stop. Philando Castile was murdered by a white police officer. And if my memory serves me correctly, Philando Castile was something involved in education. Murdered. It didn't matter that he was involved in education. The people who killed him didn't even think of that. They didn't care. They saw a black man. So they offed him. George Zimmerman, who shot and killed Trayvon Martin, he didn't see a black teenage boy. He saw a black man who deserved to die. That is the reality for black men growing up in the USA. We are always faced with that imminent threat of a racist white supremacist who feels entitled to murder us. In 2016, there was Alton Sterling, the man who was murdered outside of the liquor store for selling single cigarettes or bootleg DVDs or bootleg something, murdered outside of the liquor store. And then there was another man, Michael Dunn, who killed a teenage boy who was in his SUV parked next to Michael Dunn, and he was playing his music excessively loud, which pissed Michael Dunn off. And because Michael Dunn was pissed off and irritated, he felt entitled enough to eliminate the thing that was causing him such distress, and that was a black man listening to music. Michael Dunn killed that black man who was parked in his car, minding his own business, listening to music with his homeboys. Michael Dunn felt entitled and empowered enough to kill a black man. Yo, why would I want to stay in a society where people suffer from that sort of mental illness, where they feel that it is okay to murder someone just because they look differently than you? I can list more. Let's go. And none of us gonna forget about Ahmaud Arbery, who was jogging in Atlanta through the wrong suburb and you had those two white dudes. I forgot the names now. I can't believe I forgot the names. But listen, if one of y'all know the names, please put them in the comment section. Please share them names. I forgot them. Greg McMichaels and Greg and John. I don't know, man. Travis McMichaels and Greg McMichaels and Ronnie Piper. Man, listen, yo, Ronnie something. Anyways, those racist white men with a recorded history of sending racially charged text messages back and forth to one another, felt entitled and empowered enough to chase that black man through their subdivision, and murder him. Murdered. As a man who loves running, I love running through the city. I love my road work. I run, y'all. That could have been me. I could have been that man running through the wrong neighborhood, and some racist ass white people, chased me and murdered me. That could have been me. I'm a black man. Yeah, I'm light skinned as fuck, but I'm black. Don't forget that. I'm black. Another one. George Floyd and Officer Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin felt empowered enough, entitled enough to kneel on my man's neck for over 9 minutes and suffocate him. Murdered that black man in cold blood, in broad daylight. Murdered him. How in the hell do I want to stay in a society like that, where a certain group of people have been programmed to murder us because we are somehow a threat because we're more melanated than them? How? White supremacists are real, y'all. You still in the States, you already know this. And I know this too. We're over here in Taiwan. That's why I'm staying over here in Taiwan. I worked too hard to be where I'm at in life. I had to rise above poverty. I had to rise above not having a father. I had to rise above having a mother who was there and then totally said, fuck y'all, and ran out on us and became a prostitute and smoking crack. And if anybody has a crack addict in their family or any substance abuse addict in your family, you know how they get down. They steal your shit and they will pawn your shit to get money so they can get that fix. My mom has stole so much of our shit when we were younger and sold that shit so she can get money so she can get high as fuck. Are you hearing me? I didn't have parents coming up, but I am where I am today because I put myself in a position today. And saying that, that's enough for me to tell you right now. I am not putting myself back into an environment or society that are going to target me and haunt me, attack me, murder me because I'm a black man. I'm a black man. And because I'm a teacher and I work in the classroom, I'm constantly under the threat of being attacked by a student who's pissed off one day. So he steals his parents' guns and goes into the classroom and murders everybody, which happened in 2021 in Clarkson, Michigan, just to the east of Flint, Michigan. I think it's Clarkson. I forgot the city names now, but whatever. There is a city to the east of Flint where this boy, Ethan Crumbley, went on a killing spree. He stole his parents' gun and murdered people in this high school. Ethan Crumbley. This is 2021. And because I am a teacher in the classroom, and we do have those white supremacists in our country who feel entitled and empowered to murder black people, all I gotta do is say the wrong shit and piss this fucking white kid off and he murders me in the goddamn classroom. I did not go through the educational system and get my credentials and get, acquire a ton of student loan debt to go and waste my life in a society where white people, white supremacists, are going to constantly resort to the primitive thought pattern that I am a threat because of the color of my skin. I'm not going to live in a society where my own black brothers have been taught and programmed to think that it's okay to kill ourselves. I'm not staying in that society. And my white grandmother, I know she probably will never watch this video, but if she does, get this, get this, white women, especially old white women, y'all thinking obsolete, obsolete. And I don't got no more time to listen to obsolete mental programming. So that's that. I want to go on more of a tangent about my white grandmother, but like I said, I have to have a little bit of respect for her because she did step up and take care of me when my mother and my father dropped the ball. Okay, so listen, I guess what I'm trying to say is that black men, when you get that passport and you come overseas, you're going to have so many people in your corner who are not in your corner, if that makes sense. Imagine you in a boxing match and your trainer, he got your robe, he's sitting behind you, and he giving you this drink that stay hydrated, between the breaks in the match or whatnot, and he putting arsenic in that shit. You think the whole time you think you sipping water, but you sipping poison, unknowing it, okay, unknowingly. So, look, y'all, I'm done talking, but life's better overseas, and once you come overseas, appreciate it, and if you want it, you gotta get it for yourself, because there ain't nobody gonna get it for you, okay? And I'm done talking now. This has been your boy CHC in the Spotlight. Hit the like, subscribe, share my content. I'm out. Peace.